When I got married, I was only 19 years old. Girls in my family never say no to their parents. From the time we are little, we are told that a good girl pays attention and does what she is told. I smiled when my dad told me, "It's time for you to get married." It hurt, but I said in a whisper, "If this makes you happy, then I will say yes." The wedding was over. The dress was mine. There was a smile on my face. I did all the things that were asked of me. The days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, but my heart was empty. Is this really all there is to life? I asked myself many nights as I sat by the window, living only for other people, just following their lead. This went on for 2 years. Then everything changed one night. The car was being driven by my husband. It was late, and the road was quiet and dark. I saw the stars through the window while sitting by the window. The car shook all of a sudden. It went off the road very quickly. My husband had passed out while driving. The car rolled down and hit something before I could even scream. It was so loud. The glass broke up. Metal was twisted. I felt like fire shot through my body as it was thrown forward. My husband jumped out of the car and ran to safety right then. I'm glad he lived, but I felt stuck inside. Nearby people came running. They quickly got me out, but they didn't know how hurt I was. My back hurt even more as they dragged me. I woke up in a hospital bed when I opened my eyes again. I hurt my right arm. I hurt my wrist. I broke my shoulder and collarbone. I also broke some ribs, but my back was where the wound was the worst. I was in the hospital for 2.5 months. Those days seemed never ending. The hardest part was the nights. The only sounds in the room were the clock and the machines beeping. Why me? Why am I still alive? I asked myself as I lay awake and stared at the ceiling. A doctor stood next to my bed one morning. He said in a soft voice, "I heard you liked painting, but I'm sorry, you'll never be able to paint again." Another doctor came the next day. His voice was strong. "Your back is hurt really badly. You'll never be able to walk again." I shut my eyes. I mumbled, "It's okay," even though my lips were shaking. The doctor came again on the third day. What he said broke my whole heart. "Since you were hurt, you won't be able to have children." I cried so hard that night that I couldn't breathe while burying my face in the pillow. I asked myself, why am I alive at all if I can't walk, paint, or be a mother? A small voice inside me told me not to stop, though. It was evening, and I called my brothers. I tried to sound strong, even though my voice was weak. I told them, "I know my hand isn't steady, but I can't stand to look at these white walls any longer. Please bring an easel and some paints to me. I want to paint once more." They came with paints and brushes the next day. When I took the brush out of my hand, it shook. Even though it was heavy, I felt a spark inside me when I dipped it in bright color and made the first stroke. I filled in the painting one stroke at a time. Even though the lines weren't straight, they were mine. People who were walking by stopped to look. They said it was so pretty and bright. They saw colors, but they couldn't tell that I was crying. They didn't know how much pain each hit was causing. That's when I found my voice again. My picture told my story without me having to say a word. I made a promise at that very moment. I'm going to live my life for myself from now on, not to please other people. I faced my fears one at a time. Divorce was my first fear. I was scared of what people would say, but I told myself that my fear was only in my head. It has no power over me. I let him go. After the fact, I didn't cry when I heard that he had married again. I held my phone up, wrote a message, erased it, typed it again, and finally sent congratulations. I really did say, I wish you the best. The second thing I was afraid of was not being able to have a child. This thought hurt the most, but I kept telling myself that a kid is born from love, not just the body. I made up my mind to adopt. I gave my name to a lot of groups. It's been 2 years. The phone then rang one morning. "There's a boy," the voice spoke. "Would you like to adopt him?" My heart jumped. I had tears running down my face. "Yes, please bring him to me." He was only 2 days old when I held him for the first time. He was so tiny, soft, and smelled like milk. As soon as he opened his eyes, I became a mother. It's not easy to live in a wheelchair. The pain in my body is not the hardest part. It's hard because of how people look at me. It hurts to feel different in a world that wants everything to be perfect. I chose not to hide, though. I did more painting. I was a model for clothes, and I ran TV shows. I got up on stage and talked about girls, kids, and hope. Every time I was scared, but each time I got stronger. People started to notice me slowly, not the chair or the body that was broken, but me. I also learned something. The world starts to accept you when you accept yourself. Everybody makes plans. This is what we all think my life will be like. Life doesn't always listen, though. I never thought I'd be in a wheelchair, but I am. I choose to make it look nice. It is said that when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Make lemonade, drink it with a smile, and never say that life is hard, I tell them. It's okay to be scared. You can cry, but you shouldn't give up on life. Some people say you can't fail. I think it's okay to fail because it helps you learn, and when you get back up, you're better than you were before. Have fun with your life. Thank God for every breath. Being thankful is the key to real happiness. Live each moment to the fullest while you are still living.